Well, hi everyone, it's Pete here from the Pain Toolkit and well, greetings from a very, very warm UK. Just looked at the temperature and apparently they're forecasting 32, whopping 32 degrees today. So anyway, listen, got a really interesting speaker with me today, and I'm going to say, well, she's all the way from Newcastle, in New South Wales in Australia, called Dr. Katherine Brain. Good evening or good afternoon to you, Katherine.
Hi, Pete. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. I know we had a little chat a few weeks ago when we was organising some stuff for Chronic Pain Week for Chronic Pain Australia. And when you told me what you did, I thought, well, wow, this is right up my street because we don't really get a lot of information. I mean, you told me that you specialise in around food and pain, etc., and stuff like that. And I suppose over the years, I've had lots of mixed messages, and I thought what would be really good to get some really solid information from an expert, and obviously you're my go-to expert. So can you? There's a lot of people out there just like me would know. We get told about doing exercise, this and that, but I don't see a lot of information about pain. So can you enlighten the viewers about best foods to eat if you're living with persistent pain?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really going back to the basics is the main thing. So, I've got a good sort of interest in this from a personal and a professional sort of side of things. Got lived experience with pain myself, and also love food, love cooking. So I've sort of invested a bit of time in looking at research and what the research says on nutrition and pain. But at the end of the day, as I said, I think it comes back to the basics really. So eating lots of different brightly colored fruit and vegetables. I know that might sound a little bit boring. Always told to eat lots of vegetables,
Mm.
but it's actually the color in the skin of the fruit and vegetables that help to reduce inflammation in the body. So lots of brightly colored fruit and vegetables. And if you can try and maybe choose a new fruit or vegetable that you haven't had before, or put a new one in your trolley each week, that can help to increase the variety. There's other things like your healthy fats and oils. So things like olive oil, canola oil, healthy fish. So things like salmon, tuna, nuts and seeds. They also help to reduce inflammation. And that's really what we're looking at is inflammation in the body. So when we have increased pain, we also have increased inflammation. So trying to reduce that through nutrition is really important. The other things I would suggest are increasing whole grains and fiber. That helps our gut bugs. And when our gut bugs are happy, our body's happy, and so is our mind. So we're not only feeding ourselves, but we're feeding those little gut bugs inside us. So um, increasing our fiber intake is helpful for that. And just trying to eat a variety of different foods to ensure that you're not deficient in any sort of nutrient. There's some research that suggests people experiencing chronic pain have deficiencies in things like vitamin D or vitamin B. So vitamin D is getting the sunshine, and if it's 32 degrees in the UK at the moment, that's probably a pretty easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's really about trying to have a balanced uh, diet.
Can I ask, so say for example, I mean, I get a lot of people contact me asking, well, you know, they're struggling with their pain, etc. What would be just to sort of get them started? Really, would be like the best message? Say, for example, you had like the 5 best messages for people living with pain and the food. So would it be like brightly coloured foods, um, see, what do you, not, you call it something else? I call it roughage, like wheat. What was it?
Yeah, fiber.
Fibre, all the fibrous
Yeah.
stuff, and some seeds and stuff like that. What was the other things you said? What would be your
Uh,
five
the,
top 10 or five, sorry, top five,
Yeah, top five.
then just to get you started, sort of thing. Like, you know, so
Yeah.
you walk around with a trolley around the supermarket or the market or whatever. So what five things would people need to look out for and get?
So the first one would be, like you said, lots of bright colored fruit and vegetables.
Mm,
Healthy fish, so like your salmon, tuna, or I should say your oily fish. Um, your roughage, like you said, and nuts and seeds to feed the gut bugs. Um, Water is not necessarily something you'd have to buy at the supermarket, but come when you're dehydrated, your pain experiences can be heightened.
mm.
So making sure you're not dehydrated is the other thing I would suggest.
Well, it's five. I think it's five, isn't it? I'll tell you what, really, I like the water one because I'm a big, I'm a big water fan, sort of thing. You know, I bought a load of bottles of water. I know it comes out the tap and everything, but I like sparkling water myself. You know, I find that
Yes.
quite refreshing. Well, listen, that's. Is there any sort of places that you recommend where people will get more information about foods and the right foods for and living with pain? Is there a website?
Well, I've recently done a webinar for Chronic Pain Australia that goes into a bit more detail about this. So that's available if anyone's interested in watching it. Goes for about 15 minutes. And I also talk about in that video too, it's not just what to eat, but it's how to eat when you're experiencing pain. Standing up in the kitchen for 3 hours and cooking a recipe that's got, 20 ingredients and 20 steps is not something that is what you want to be doing
Uh,
with your time. So trying to find different ways to make that easier. So using frozen mixed vegetables, for example, so you don't have to stand and chop all your vegetables. And a lot of those mixed veggies come with lots of different colors in them. So it's quite an easy way to sort of kill two birds with the one stone.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, trying to think of ways to make it a little bit easier to actually eat well. So if you're cooking a meal, cook a little bit extra and put some in the freezer for a day where you might be having a flare up or a day where you don't feel like cooking.
Mm.
Um, Getting groceries delivered if you struggle carrying heavy shopping bags, but also trying to get to the supermarket as well because it's still good to have that social interaction and we have a real social connection with our food. Share coffee with friends or, share a meal with friends and use it for celebrations. And so it's just as important to enjoy our food as well as eat well for our pain.
Catherine, that's fantastic. And what I'll do is I'll get that link from you later on
Yeah,
for
sure.
Chronic Pain Australia, and I'll include that within the video as well. And we'll also want to post it. Hey, thanks very
Yeah.
much for the tips. I think that's awesome, and it's made my sitting here. I'm really interested now, and I didn't know about the brightly coloured fruit. That's a new one, or vegetables. That's a new one on me. So I want to make more of a point in checking it out. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks.
Thanks, Catherine. So everyone, thanks very much for watching or listening. If you're listening an audio version of this, um, thanks for watching. I'll see you again on another video. Take care. Don't forget to look after yourself. Be cool and groovy.